I feel slightly guilty, so I apologize and I will try to make up for it today. I will answer all kinds of questions that you ask.
She didn't disappear, but something did change, and not everyone noticed it right away. Sina Doering, known online simply as Sina Drums, built a massive global following without hype, gimmicks, or controversy. So what really happened? Did the momentum slow? Did the algorithm shift? Or did she take control in a way most people missed?
A few years ago, this would all have been completely unimaginable. To explain why, I need to dive into a different question that came up a lot during these last few years.
The answer is layered, unexpected, and grounded in something much bigger than a viral cover. There's one bold project in particular that might explain more than any headline ever could. You may know her for the drumming, but that's not the whole story. Let's get into what really happened to Sina Drums. Spark behind the sticks. Sina Doering's journey into drumming didn't begin with a lifelong dream or formal training. It started with a coincidence. In 2010, her father, a professional musician, purchased a drum kit for his recording studio. The original plan was to include live drum tracks in his projects. But there was one issue. He didn't play drums. The unused kit sat there until 11-year-old Sina, with no prior experience, decided to give it a try. This decision marked a turning point, one that neither she nor her father likely anticipated at the time. Within just a year of self-directed practice, Sina's rhythm and precision had developed enough for her to begin appearing on professional recordings produced by her father. The pace of her progress was unusual. Not only did she grasp technique quickly, but she also demonstrated an intuitive feel for timing and groove that typically takes drummers years to refine. While some might attribute this to talent, it's worth considering the role her musically immersive upbringing played in her rapid development. She had been absorbing musical structure and studio environments long before she ever sat behind a drum kit. Early in the waves of rhythms was certainly getting beyond a hobby for Sina, whose input into recordings was not confined to the family projects, but rather involved actively participating in real productions. These experiences gave her a solid grounding that most young musicians received only much later. She was not alone playing these productions in a bedroom. She was learning the art of tracking drums with other instruments, contributing to polished studio material. It was a rapid development. Out of that came an odd pairing of technical skill and real-world application. Further, it raises the interesting question: if the drum kit was never bought, would Sina have found drums at all? She was already singing, already engaged in some music activity, but drums were far off the radar until that chance equipment purchase. The crossing of timing, the opportunity, and a conducive environment was very important. Instead of following a structured path to the drums, she entered spontaneously. And that spontaneity mixed with concentrated work may be what enabled her to carve a very distinct style early on, unshackled from rigid expectations, yet firmly rooted in real experience. What started in a quiet studio corner soon found its way onto a global stage, through a movie no one, not even Sina, saw coming. The YouTube launch nobody saw coming. Sina Doering's entry into YouTube wasn't the result of a carefully crafted strategy. It was her father's idea. At 14 years old, Sina had already been recording drums in the family studio, but she had no plans to become an internet figure. Her father, recognizing both her skill and the rising potential of online video, suggested they upload one of her drum covers. Though hesitant at first, Sina eventually agreed. In 2013, she uploaded her first video, a drum cover of Dream Theater's Metropolis Part 1. It wasn't an overnight hit, but it marked the start of a career that would gain serious traction in the years to come. Her early videos were raw in terms of production, but they demonstrated a clarity of technique and feel that stood out. What nearly held her back, however, wasn't just stage fright. It was the uncertainty of exposing her playing to public scrutiny. YouTube was still in its early growth phase, and the idea of a teenage girl posting drum covers of complex rock songs was not only uncommon, it risked backlash in a male-dominated space. Sina's decision to push forward anyway speaks to a quiet resilience, one that would eventually become a recurring theme in her career. What was distinctive about her early videos was not just her playing, but the way she structured the content. Unlike most drummers, who merely sat behind the kit and played away, Sina added insightful camera angles and focused on the interaction between different limbs and rhythms. This procedural approach inadvertently gave her videos an educational quality. It also offered a special viewing experience that enabled her to stand out. The viewers weren't just watching her play, they were understanding how she played with the drumming. Back then, when very few female drummers enjoyed visibility online, Sina's clear technical proficiency gained her immediate attention and respect. Choosing songs became another factor that differentiated her from others. Her repertoire rarely consisted of obscure or niche choices, ridden with technical displays. Instead, well-known tracks with signature drum patterns were her forte. This, of course, was a purposeful move, tied to making her content more shareable. People weren't simply impressed by her playing, they got to watch songs they loved being reinterpreted. Even in those early days, Sina was very aware of what would get traction. Be it by chance, by timing, or pure intuition, her early choices cemented the groundwork for her sustained growth and an audience much larger than what came from drumming circles. Viral velocity. In 2016, Sina Doering's drum cover of Dire Straits' Sultans of Swing marked a major turning point in her YouTube journey. While her channel had been steadily growing, this particular performance propelled her into a much broader spotlight. The video became the most viewed drum cover of the song on the platform, resonating far beyond just drumming enthusiasts. What made it stand out was its balance of technical skill, musical maturity, and respectful reinterpretation of a rock classic, qualities rarely expected from a teenage performer. Sina didn't just mimic the original, she added her own flair while preserving the groove and essence of the track. Her tasteful restraint, choosing feel over flash, helped the video appeal to a wide audience, from seasoned musicians to casual listeners. This crossover appeal was amplified by a clever generational bridge, a younger artist introducing a vintage song to a modern digital audience. Her production quality and presentation brought timeless music into today's world, making the performance feel both nostalgic and fresh. The success of this cover raised deeper questions about what makes content valuable on platforms like YouTube. For Sina, it proved she could create something enduring, not just popular. More than a viral moment, the video cemented her reputation as a serious, globally recognized musician. The shift from covers to creativity. As Sina Doering's YouTube fame continued to rise, so did her desire to grow artistically. While drum covers played a key role in building her platform, they brought limitations, both creatively and financially, due to copyright constraints. In response, Sina shifted toward original compositions, launching her first album project, Chai Might, in 2016. This marked a turning point in her career, not just as a drummer, but as a composer and producer, collaborating remotely with musicians from around the world. Chai Might gave Sina the freedom to create music that reflected her own artistic voice, breaking away from the structures of pre-existing songs. It also demonstrated her ability to lead and manage large-scale creative projects independently. The positive response led to follow-up albums in 2018 and 2020, eventually culminating in Rhythm Unleashed in 2023. Her original work blended genres: jazz, fusion, rock, and electronic, pushing her sound in bold, experimental directions. However, Sina's move into original music highlights a challenge many digital creators face: artistic expression versus platform performance. While covers often perform better in algorithms, original content tends to gain less traction. Yet Sina chose the tougher road, favoring long-term creative integrity over short-term virality. This evolution reflects her ambition to be recognized not just as a YouTube drummer, but as a serious, independent artist using digital platforms as a launchpad, not a limit. The Drumming Academy. Despite her significant online success and millions of video views, Sina Doering chose to pursue formal music education, emphasizing her commitment to long-term artistic growth. In 2017, she enrolled at the Drummers Institute in Krefeld, Germany, a decision some might have seen as unnecessary given her rising YouTube fame.
Hey, it's Sina. First of all, thank you so much for watching my videos and for all your feedback.
But for Sina, this move wasn't about chasing credentials. It was about deepening her craft. She wanted more than technical prowess. She sought structure, stylistic expansion, and a solid foundation in musicianship that self-teaching alone couldn't offer. At the Drummers Institute, Sina was introduced to a broader range of genres, from jazz and funk to progressive rock. This exposure enriched her musical vocabulary and helped her grow both technically and creatively. Courses in music theory, ensemble performance, and ear training further shaped her into a versatile and well-rounded musician. Later, Sina advanced her studies at the Artsz Conservatory in the Netherlands, majoring in jazz and pop. Here, she focused heavily on live performance and collaboration, skills essential beyond the studio environment of YouTube. Her academic path wasn't about validation. It was about building a foundation for a sustainable career. Unlike many content creators who rely solely on digital momentum, Sina invested in lasting musicianship. The business of beats. Despite Sina Doering's massive online following, including millions of views and over 2 million YouTube subscribers as of 2025.
When I finished high school 2 years ago, my YouTube channel was about to take off, so I did not go to university and I did not go for a daytime job, but I became a full-time drummer, and I spent most of my time building my channel.
Her path to financial sustainability has been far from straightforward. Many assume that viral videos automatically generate significant income, but in Sina's case, that hasn't always been true. Since most of her most-watched content involves covers of copyrighted music, a large share of advertising revenue goes to the original rights holders, not the creator. This system has limited how much Sina earns directly from YouTube ads, even on videos with tens of millions of views. In response to this limitation, Sina adapted her monetization strategy by building multiple revenue streams outside traditional ad-based models. One of her most important sources of income is Patreon. Through the platform, Sina offers exclusive content, such as early video access, bonus performances, and behind-the-scenes updates to fans who subscribe monthly. This model allows her most dedicated supporters to fund her work directly, providing a more stable and predictable income compared to fluctuating ad revenue. It's also given her greater creative freedom, as she no longer has to rely solely on view counts to justify her projects. In collaboration with DW Drums and Meinl Cymbals on endorsements that offer funding and credibility, Sina carries on her work with ethnic endorsements in the interests of legitimacy and publicity. The arrangement is often considered a win-win for both parties.
I'm not actually a songwriter, but I enjoy working together with young songwriters and working out original drum parts.
Sina acquires the latest gear and exposure. The brand gets associated with a respected drummer who is visible at the same time. Merchandise and physical sales of her original albums are another one of her cottage industries, albeit mainly oriented toward niche markets compared to most mainstream pop artists. According to her, all these endeavors mitigate her dependence on the volatile platform algorithms. Live shows and music seminars make up the rest of Sina's income model. Over the recent years, she has toured Europe and North America with various festivals and clinics, bringing in appearance fees and merchandise sales. Her workshops and instructional content find eager audiences among aspiring musicians. This arrangement has been a source of great fulfillment and great profit to her. Whereas her online presence is the entry point, the blended offline engagements and varied digital strategies have enabled Sina to build a career as more than a mere content creator, a working musician. This means that going viral can be earmarked as her genesis, but adapting to the modern economics of musicianship is what has kept her alive. Behind the drum cam. While Sina Doering's drumming talent is at the heart of her appeal, a key element behind her continued YouTube success is the exceptional production quality of her videos. Her content goes beyond performance. It's a visual and auditory experience. Rather than relying on a single static angle like many drummers, Sina uses a multi-camera setup that captures her playing from various perspectives. Overhead views, close-ups of cymbals, and foot pedal shots offer a comprehensive look at her technique, making her videos both engaging and educational for fellow drummers. Her attention to audio is equally refined. Instead of basic microphones or default camera audio, Sina records her drum tracks using studio-grade equipment, ensuring a clean, balanced mix. Her drums are front and center without overpowering the original song, creating a polished and immersive listening experience. This level of quality likely stems from her early studio work with her father, which laid the groundwork for her professional standards. Visually, her style emphasizes performance over flash. She avoids exaggerated effects or gimmicky intros, opting instead for subtle, rhythmic editing that complements the music. The result is a more authentic and human feel. Viewers feel as though they're in the room with her. This approach creates a stronger emotional connection, particularly for young drummers seeking guidance or inspiration. Sina's production choices elevate her above typical content creators in the drumming niche. Rather than exploit her skills for clicks, she curates each video with intention and care. That restraint, paired with her technical precision, is what gives her a lasting edge. One take 20 players. One of Sina Doering's most ambitious creative milestones was her collaborative one-take video project at the Art EZ Conservatory in the Netherlands. Unlike a typical drum cover or studio performance, this was a live, continuous shot production involving 20 musicians and a fusion of music, choreography, and film. Conceived by fellow students Niels Neumann, Philip Callisto, and Selina van Rokum, the project required seamless coordination across multiple rooms and disciplines. Sina wasn't just the drummer, she was a core creative contributor. The team rehearsed intensively to perfect the timing of musical cues, movements, and transitions. The most challenging part involved navigating stairs while maintaining rhythm and group vocals, requiring complete synchronization and trust among the performers. There were no retakes, no edits, no post-production fixes. Everything had to work in real time. For Sina, this experience pushed her far outside her comfort zone. It demanded live spontaneity and real-time teamwork, unlike her usual self-directed, edited content. Yet, the final product, released on her YouTube channel, was praised for both musicality and visual artistry. More importantly, it demonstrated Sina's adaptability, creativity, and leadership under pressure. It proved she could thrive not just as a solo online creator, but as a dynamic, collaborative artist in high-stakes environments. Drum diplomacy. As Sina Doering's online presence flourished, her influence began extending into physical spaces through live performances and educational workshops. Over the years, she has appeared at prestigious drum festivals like the UK Drum Show and Drum Festival Switzerland, sharing the stage with seasoned professionals. These appearances marked a pivotal shift from YouTube content creator to recognized touring artist, where she had to bring her recorded precision to live execution. This transition not only presented new challenges, but also solidified her reputation within traditional drumming communities. Beyond performing, Sina embraced teaching through masterclasses and clinics across Europe and North America. These sessions were more than demonstrations. They were structured, immersive learning experiences aimed largely at students who had first discovered her through digital platforms. Known for her ability to simplify complex rhythms and articulate her musical choices, Sina quickly became a relatable and accessible educator. Her appeal didn't rest on fame, but on genuine interaction and clarity, especially for those new to formal music instruction. What makes Sina's presence so powerful is her seamless blend of education, performance, and cultural exchange. Whether touring international music schools or collaborating with musicians from different backgrounds, she consistently shows deep respect for musical diversity. Her performances are as much about cross-cultural dialogue as they are about rhythm. To Sina, drumming is communication, an inclusive language that connects generations and cultures alike. Her international appearances have silenced any notion that her success is merely algorithmic. Whether she's performing in Poland or teaching in Canada, she brings professionalism, humility, and focus to every setting. Sina's unique strength lies in her ability to remain true to herself while expanding her reach. She adapts without compromise, creating inclusive spaces wherever she goes. In doing so, she hasn't just earned a global audience, she's earned their trust. Her rhythm now resonates in places far beyond the stage. Legacy in the making. Sina Doering's influence extends far beyond her drumming performances. She has become a powerful figure in music education and representation, especially for young female drummers. Without deliberately positioning herself as a mentor, her consistent visibility and skill have naturally made her a role model. Many young girls have shared how her videos gave them the confidence to start drumming. This quiet, unintentional mentorship may be one of her most lasting contributions. Her educational reach is both inspirational and practical. Through workshops, tutorials, and collaborations, Sina offers valuable instruction that is often out of reach for those outside formal music programs. Her teaching style is accessible and engaging, blending traditional techniques with modern content formats, which makes her especially effective for self-taught musicians. Sina also challenges outdated stereotypes in drumming, a field long dominated by men. Through her technique, creativity, and professionalism, she reshapes perceptions of who belongs behind the drum kit. Without directly addressing gender, she helps normalize women in spaces where they've long been underrepresented. Looking ahead, Sina's path hints at a growing awareness of her legacy. Whether or not she formally steps into mentorship or institutional roles, her educational content, collaborations, and influence on industry messaging suggest she's helping shape a more inclusive future. Brands that once highlighted only male drummers now feature her prominently, reflecting broader changes in the industry. Her impact also resonates with peer creators and emerging musicians. Many cite her as both inspiration and blueprint, modeling their careers after hers. This ripple effect, where visibility inspires imitation and, ultimately, innovation, demonstrates Sina's lasting influence. Even when her videos fade from the spotlight, the structures and mindset she's helped build will continue to guide the next generation of artists. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. If you got something out of this, hit that like button. It really helps. Got thoughts or questions? Drop them in the comments. We read every one. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Ready for more? Click on the next video on your screen and keep the story going.